Hi, my name is Jason Scott and I'm the Deputy Director of the Ideas National Evaluation Team, and I'm co-leading our National Evaluation of Neighbourhood Health. If you're not familiar with us, we are funded by the National Institute for Health and Care Research to conduct large-scale evaluations related to innovations in the organisation and delivery of care. More information about ourselves and our evaluations is available on our website, including a video summary of what our evaluation of neighbourhood health consists of. Today, I'm going to be talking briefly about how our stakeholder panel will work and the feedback that we've received from many panel members on how best to engage and share things throughout the course of the evaluation. To start with, I'll begin with a little bit of an explanation of what our stakeholder panel is and how it fits with our evaluation of neighbourhood health. So the evaluation of neighbourhood health consists of various different work streams, of which one of them is around knowledge mobilisation. And within the knowledge mobilisation work stream, we're particularly interested in hearing various different people's voices throughout the evaluation and informing the activities that we're conducting, and making sure that we do this at the right time throughout. So the way that we anticipate this stakeholder panel will work is that people will sign up to the stakeholder panel, hopefully with as much representation as possible from various different sectors through to individuals with various different types of lived experience. And once they become members of a stakeholder panel, then we will work with them at various different points during the evaluation. Now, what that will consist of will differ for every single person. It may be that somebody only wants to work with us once or around a specific activity. Other people might want to work with us throughout all activities or be involved in as much as possible. And this will depend based on what their roles are, what their interest in neighbourhood health is, and so on and so forth. And so the way that we will operate this stakeholder panel is that at various points in the evaluation, depending what activities we're up to and sort of what sort of input we need, we will reach out to stakeholders and ask people to be involved in the different activities. It will then be completely up to those people as to whether they want to contribute at that time or not. Being part of a stakeholder panel does not come with any sort of expectations from our side around a minimum commitment, for instance. So it is very flexible and variable. So in terms of variability and flexibility, we understand that this is a slightly different way of engaging with people throughout a long-term evaluation. And so what we wanted to do was very early on speak to many of our stakeholders and get feedback from our stakeholders as to how they would like to remain involved in the evaluation and be involved in it throughout the course of it. And also what we need to do as an evaluation team to make sure that people feel engaged and feel like they are making meaningful contributions. What we did was we held an online workshop for an hour and we spoke to and got feedback from many different people. And so what I'm presenting here today is a high-level summary of that feedback, as well as our response to some of that feedback. So what we're taking forward from that in particular. Now, of course, this is just the start of the conversation. We would expect to have lots more conversations like this as we progress through the evaluation, and particularly if people feel like that we aren't providing what they need, we're really keen to hear from you. So please do get in touch with us at any time. So the feedback that we received in this session, we had some absolutely fantastic conversations. I think we could have talked for hours, but of course we had to keep it somewhat limited in time. But the high-level feedback that we received is that what people wanted to get out of being part of the stakeholder panel was to share experiences and learning from others. So very much of these activities would have to involve various different people. They want to learn more about the evaluation that we're conducting and about neighbourhood health more generally. They wanted to make sure that the views of underheard groups are heard within the evaluation itself. And they wanted the learning from the findings, and they also wanted to be able to apply that learning to local services and situations. So as a result of this, some of the actions we will take include sending regular bulletins that will share details of the evaluation. We're going to run live sessions throughout the evaluation with time for questions and answers, and we'll also record these sessions for those people who are not able to attend. This was a really interesting piece of feedback that we got from virtually everyone that we spoke to. We will also share any updates, and when we share updates, we'll also include a summary that will be accessible for everyone. And this then might link to documents but give more detail about the updates themselves, but we will always have that high-level summary for people to be able to quickly scan and understand. And we'll also make sure that we have different formats around accessibility. So, for example, we'll combine written updates with audio-video content. And we will then think about how we share findings at times that are good for different groups of people. For example, when there are any themed weeks, so as mentioned, there is a quality improvement week that's upcoming, for instance, or at key moments in the financial year cycle, for instance, for the NHS, for local authorities, and voluntary and community sector organisations as well. Of course, that's not all the feedback we received, and we will study that. We will make sure that we respond and action all of that feedback that we did receive, because there was a lot more discussion that took place behind the scenes. Now, if you're watching this and you aren't yet a member of our stakeholder panel but would like to be, then I do say please get in touch with us. At the moment, we have around about 85 stakeholders involved in our project, but there is no limit to the number of people that can be involved. And as I said, there's no minimum commitment required as well. So it's a really good way of getting involved, even if it's just to a small extent. And we'd love to hear from you. Our contact details are here on the screen. You can also find those on the website, along with, as I said earlier, other videos about our Neighbourhood Health evaluation. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see, or at least hear from many of you soon. Thank you.